Okay, so we can look into the arrays chapter. So yesterday we have discussed till here. So today we will discuss about this program. So that is program to read and print the values of one-dimensional array. Okay. Okay. So before this program, we saw like initialization of one-dimensional array and printing the values of one-dimensional array. Then reading the values of one-dimensional array. So read means to input the values for array. Okay, now so totally we look at the program where we go across input and output operations. Okay, so this is the complete program where it shows how to input the values for one dimensional array and how to print the values of one dimensional array. So in this program, if you look at the declaration part, so we have variables n, I and a of 20. Okay, so indicating, so n variable we have taken because, see, for example, if I want to input 5 values, first time when I execute this program, if I want to input 5 values, okay, next time when I input the values, if I want to input some more values like 6 or 7 or 10 values, so in that case, let us take one variable, so which will keep track how many values we can enter. Okay, so 20 indicates maximum size. So 20 elements you can insert into this array. Okay, so because array is group of elements, right? So we can store more values, more than one value. So 20 is the maximum size. Less than 20 you can store, equals to 20 you can store, but not more than 20. But when I tested in my laptop, like with the compiler what I'm having, so it is accepting one more value. So 20 means 21 values it is accepting, so that we will see why it is and all, because actually it should accept 20 values, and if I give 22 values it is not accepting. Okay, so in that way you can test it, because memory locations means, so it will be more. For example, if I consider 64k ram, okay, so you can think of like 65535 locations. Okay, 64 kilobytes of ram, 64 into 1024 bytes. So in that you can consider these many locations. Okay, so when I have tested, so it is accepting 21 values. So 20, if I give 22 values, it will not accept. Okay, so now let us consider like this. So we can give 20 values or less than 20 values, equals to 20 or less than 20. So on the console screen, we have to give one message for the user, enter the array size. Even though array size we have given 20, but let us give one option to enter the array size, because see, every time user will not enter 20 values. So one who executes the program, or if the programmer only executes the program, it is his or her wish to enter values. Okay, so this n variable indicates how many values we can enter out of 20 locations. Okay, so next, enter array elements. See, you look at the output here. So enter the array size. Okay, I have taken only 5 locations out of 20 locations. I have taken only 5 locations. That means, so I want to enter only 5 values. So in that case, next message is enter 5 array elements. So %d indicates n. So you look at this printf statement, after double quotes, comma, n. N indicates how many values we are entering. So enter 5 array elements. So I hope you people have understood this for loop with scanf. So we already saw this tracing, right? So this is exact what it is. So here I have taken I is equals to 0, I less than 5. So in this program I have taken I less than n, because every time it is not 5, it may change. Okay, so scanf %a of I. So ampersand you should not forget to give. Whenever you are giving input values, you should give ampersand. Only for string we are not giving. Okay, printf the array elements. So after input the values for one dimensional array, next step is to print. So this program demonstrates how to input the values for one dimensional array and how to print the values. So when you are printing, it's our wish like to print in horizontal way or vertical way. So if you use backslash t, it will print in horizontal way. If you put backslash n, it will print in vertical way. So you just observe the output. So whatever the elements you entered, 10, 11, 17, 5, 3, these are the values entered by the user. Afterwards it will print, so the array elements are, it is printed 10 11 17 5 3. So these values you can print either in horizontal format or vertical format. But when you consider one dimensional array, it will print in one dimension, either vertical or horizontal, not both. So if it is both, then it becomes two dimensional, that is rows and columns format. Okay, uh, just a minute. So just wait 1 minute, I am searching for the tracing of this program. Okay. See, for this particular program, I have not done separate tracing because I hope you people have understood up to here. That is third printf statement. Okay, printf, first printf, next scanf, next printf. You just look at the output. So I enter the array size. So how much we have to enter is like equals to 20 or less than 20. That should be our array size on the console screen. So once you enter, so if you have entered 5, it says enter 5 array elements. If you have entered 6, it says 6 array elements. Okay. So up to here, so in this way we have to understand. Next, what you do for this for loop, for this particular for loop on scanf, whatever the tracing we have, the previous tracing. See, you look at this tracing. I think it is present here only. See, this itself is the tracing. Only one difference is there. Here we have taken 5, right? Instead of 5, you have to take n. That is the only difference. Okay. And in complete tracing also, wherever the I less than 5 is there, we have to consider I less than n. Okay, and that n value depends on our that is console screen value. So what value we will give it. Okay, so let us execute one time so that we will understand this program. Okay, so this is the program. Okay, so let us execute it. So see, enter an array size. Maximum size of an array is 20. Less than or equals to 20, we have to enter. If suppose if I enter like 4, okay, so it says enter 4 elements. So these elements you can enter anything. So single digit number or 2 digit or 3 digit, any values. But you should be notice that you should enter integer values because we have taken integer array here. So 11, 12, just enter any values. So you look at here. So when I entered first time 11, 12, 13, 14, that is the input process. Next time when it is printed, same on the console only, that is the output process. Okay. So now let us execute line by line. Okay. So it is asking here, I'm entering 4. So in this printf statement, it is saying enter %d. In %d, it will display 4. Enter 4 array elements. Okay. So now you can check the value of n here. Say n is 4. And I said, I think I have said this, how to write this for loop. So array location starts from 0. So you write I is equals to 0. So maximum size, that is how much you have entered, 4 or 5 or 10. So that indicates n value. So I less than n. So array locations are incremented by 1 each time. So I plus plus. Okay. So scanf will execute 4 times now. Okay. So if I say 11, so one time it is executed. 12. So each time when it executes, it will take this program control to the console. Third time it is executed. So fourth time it is executed. Okay. So immediately the program control will move to the next line. The array elements are the next for loop. Okay. In the same way, this printf will execute 4 times. Okay. So after executing 4 times, it will go to the get stage. So you can observe the output here. See here I have taken array size as 5. So let us take here as 20. I hope you people have understood this program. So if you have any doubts in the editor screen and console screen, you can ask. So later we can move to the MS Word document so that you can take the screenshot. Okay, so if people can take this program's screenshot with output. So if you want tracing, it's very simple. You can look at this tracing where scanf is there. Instead of 5, you have to take n. That is the difference. And if you want to take the printf tracing, that is for loop with printf, you can consider this one. Okay, same exactly. So instead of 5, you have to take n, I less than n. So rest everything is same. Okay. 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 Okay, I hope you have done. Let me go to the next topic. Okay. So next topic is two-dimensional array. Okay. So general meaning of dimension. So as we have discussed in the previous class, so dimension is nothing but direction. Okay. So if I consider horizontal direction, that is one dimension. If I consider vertical direction, that is one dimension. Okay. If we consider both horizontal and vertical, then we can say two dimensions. So from mathematics, we came to know like x-axis and y-axis. So if we are considering both, so I hope you people may remember like writing 4 comma 5 indicates coordinates in a graph. So from x-axis it is 4 units, and from y-axis it is 5 units, in that way. Okay. So if we consider both the axis, that is horizontal and vertical, then we can say two dimension. Okay. In the same way, in the programming language, in C language, so if I consider two subscript values, so how we can understand two dimension in programming is like two subscript values we have to consider. Okay. So in the syntax, first we look at the definition. Two dimensional array is a collection of elements with same name and type. So up to here it is same. If you consider array definition, one dimensional array, two dimensional array, multi-dimensional array, so multi-dimensional array, so definition till here it is same name and type. So when you consider one dimension, you have to say one subscript value. When you consider two dimensions, you have to say two subscript values. So here subscript is nothing but the index values. Okay. So you look at the syntax: data type array name size 1 size 2, or data type array name row size column size. Because generally in C language, so when we consider two dimensions, so when we print the values of two dimensional array, or when we do any operations, generally we will consider in row and column format, that is matrix form. So in mathematics we might have come across the matrix concept. So matrix means arrangement of elements in rows and columns format. So you can consider the second syntax. Size 1 indicates row size, column size indicates, column size indicates number of columns. So row size is the number of rows, column size is the number of columns, that is size 1 and 2. So if you observe the difference between one dimensional and two dimensional array syntax, so in case of one dimensional it is only data type, so one size it is there. So this is the one dimensional array syntax: data type array name only one size. Okay, one pair of square brackets. Okay. But if you consider the two dimensional array syntax, so we have two pair of brackets, so that is size 1 and size 2, or row size and column size. Okay. Where data type can be any basic type such as int, float, char or double. Okay, integer values, floating point values, character values or double values, or even derived data types or even user defined data types. The array name is a valid identifier. So in both the cases, in case of one dimensional and two dimensional, array name should be valid identifier. You have to remember the identifier rules and write the array name. Okay, so we will look at the example here. So examples one. So int a is an array name here. 3 indicates 3 rows. Again, one more 3 indicates 3 columns, and it is not a rule that you have to give the same number of rows and columns. You can give different number of rows and columns. So 3 and 4 you can give, or 3 or 5 you can give in that way. Okay, number of columns and number of rows can be different. So int a of 3 3. So first 3 indicates number of rows, second 3 indicates number of columns. So int is a data type, a is an array name, 3 indicates the size 1, that is dimension 1 you can consider, that is number of rows, and size 2, dimension 2. That means I have given same, right? Same values, right? So here only I have said both size 1 and size 2 indicates that is 3 only. So we can consider 3 rows and 3 columns here. So this is how the memory representation for 2-dimensional array. So let us discuss this. Okay. So you look at the memory representation first, then we will consider in real world what happens. Okay. So in case of memory representation, so if you look at the memory representation of 1-dimensional array, see here I have taken only one value. So one subscript value to indicate the position of an element, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. But when you consider the 2-dimensional array, here you observe, so two pair of square brackets have used. So 0 and 0. So that means we require two subscript values to indicate the position of the element in 2-dimensional array. Okay. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. I will tell you how it is. So you look at this real world representation. That means how we can consider in rows and columns. Okay. So 3 and 3 indicates 3 rows, 3 columns, right? So you look at this diagram. So I have drawn 3 rows and 3 columns. So when we consider the first row in real world, that means it is 0. So in array always it is -1. So when you say first in real world, it is 0. When you say second in real world, it is 1, in that way. Okay. So you consider, so here first square bracket indicates the row index, second square bracket indicates the column index. Okay. Row index and column index. So here I have clearly mentioned first row, second row, third row, and first column, second column, third column. Now, whenever you consider the items in table format or rows and columns format, so if you want to identify the particular element, then we have to tell the row number and column number. Both in real world also we will do in that way only, row number and column number. So if you consider the first box, okay, first row, first column element. Okay, first box indicates first row, first column element. Second box indicates second row, second column element. In the same way, third row indicates third row, first row, third column element. Okay, so columns also have indicated first column, second column, and third column. So in real world, if you want to say, you can say first row, first column, right? In array, how will you represent? When you say first row, indicate it by 0. When you say first column, indicate it by 0. I hope you people are getting. When you say first row, indicate it by 0. So when you say first column, indicate it by 0. So in the square bracket, I have taken 0, 0. I have not taken 1, 1 here to indicate first row, first column. I have taken 0, 0 because in array it is, we have to consider it as -1. Array location starts from 0. In case of 2-dimensional array also, row size starts from 0, column size starts from 0. So to indicate the first row, first column, you have to say 0, 0. Similarly, to indicate the second column, in the same row, to indicate the second column, first row, second column. So because I am telling first, you have to take 0. First row, second column means 2 minus 1 is 1. So 0, 0, 0, 1, and first row, third column. So first row means -1, 0, 1 minus 1, 0. Third column, so third means 3, number is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. Okay, so I hope you people are getting here. 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. See, these are not values. So values are empty here. I have not put any values. Just I am indicating the index, that is position of the elements. So if I tell what is the position of the first row, first column element, you have to say 0, 0. What is the position of the first or second column element? It is 0 1. What is the position of the first or third column element? It is 0 2. In that way, when you go to the second row, so you look at the first index, what I have written, 1 1 1, because it is second row. Second row means you have to say 1. And column, you look at first column is 0, second column is 1, third column is 2. So first square bracket indicates row, second square brackets indicates column. Okay, so 1 0 1 1 1 2. When you go to the third row, so because I'm telling third, so first you have to indicate 2. That means third row means 2. First column is 0, so 2 0 2 1 2 2. Okay, so in real world, we have to represent in this way. So when you consider in memory representation, computer memory, what it will do? First, it will take all the rows. That means first row it will consider. Next, it will go to the second row. Next, it will go to the third row. So it will consider in sequence. So in memory representation, it will not it will not store it in row and column format. To if I want to represent for the user, then we need to represent in row and column format. That is the application of two-dimensional array. That is matrix form. Okay. So in memory representation, how it will store means in sequence 0 0 0 1 0 2 1 0 1 1 1 2 2 0 2 1 2 2. So you observe this memory representation 0 0 0 1 0 2 1 0 1 1 1 2 2 0 2 1 2 2. So 0 0 0 1 0 2, that is the end of the first row. 1 0 1 1 1 2 second row, 2 0 2 1 2 2, that is the third row. So in memory it will indicate in this way. When we show to the user, we can represent in row and column format. Okay, so you can take this screenshot of this. Okay.
So in only one memory location, both the values will be stored. That is first row and first column. Like 0 0 or 0 1, whatever has been mentioned, is
Hmm.
it in one memory location both the values are stored, or is it two different values?
No, sir, it is not a value. It is index value. Actual value is different. Index value is different. So
Yeah, about it. When it is when it has been in terms of but in the 0 0 we can even write 1 1, right, with the input value, I'm to say. So where is actually that is stored? It is in separate memory locations, or is it stored side by side in one memory location?
no, 0 0 will not store actually. It is the index to indicate the value.
Okay, but we will input, right? Like for in the previous example, we saw, yeah, please enter the value.
Yes.
In such a case, say n and m,
Uh,
if we are entering n and m as values,
uh,
n we enter as 10 and m as 20.
uh.
So is it stored in only one,
Box. No.
memory location?
N will be stored in first row, first column. M will be stored in first row, second column.
So second column.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. But in the dimensions, we are representing 0 0 or 0 1, right? That is um, first row, first column.
Uh.
It should be both should be in one, right? Logically, and it is going to the next means, then we are not entering three values.
No, sir, not like that. If, for example, if some students are sitting in a bench, okay. If I want to,
Uh-huh.
so if I consider three benches, and if some nine students are sitting, so if I want to identify first student, if I say first row, first column, that means he is sitting in the first bench at the corner or one on one side.
Okay.
So per student is one. So I am representing him by telling first table or first row, first in the first row, first column he is sitting.
Okay. Now, what you entered here at 0 0 is data type array name, right? That is the row and column.
Yes.
So that means it will take up to three rows, three columns in this example.
Three rows, three columns.
Okay. So, but it is not the memory that is stored there. It will only take the
Position indicates
position.
the position.
Okay. Okay. So if we write say 10, 20, 30, it will be like 0 0 will be 10, 0
Yes.
1 will be 20, 02 will be 30.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Okay.
ಪ್ರದೀಪ್,
Yes, sir.
ಎಕ್ಸೆಲ್ ಶೀಟ್ ನೊಳಗೆ ರೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಾಲಮ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡಿಜಿಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಮೇಲೆ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರ. A1 ಸೆಲ್,
Yes.
X3 ಸೆಲ್ ಅಂತ.
ಹಾ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಏನು ಲೆಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಚಾನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಓನ್ಲಿ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿನಾ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಶನ್, ಇಂಡೆಕ್ಸಿಂಗ್?
Yes, yes.
ಓಕೆ.
Yes. One more thing,
Okay.
what we can consider Excel sheet or MS Word, I hope you know, like it is an output of one program.
Yeah.
So users will directly interact with the MS Word and MS Excel.
Excel. Okay.
So there, if a programmer, if he displays like 000102, so end users may not understand it.
Correct.
So for users to make it understandable, they have done like that.
Okay. Thank you, Pradeep.
Okay. Okay, so I think you people have to take two screenshots here. So one is like you take definition, syntax, and example. Then if you take this complete diagram as one screenshot, then it will be helpful for you. Okay. Okay, so we'll move further. I think you people have done with it. So here initialization of two-dimensional array. So as we discussed with initialization of one-dimensional array, so we can consider with initialization of two-dimensional array. You just observe the difference here. So in this diagram, I have not written any values, only index values I have written. So values are empty, or we can say compiler has assigned some value, so that we don't know, unless and until we display, we don't know the values. So just let us assume that it is empty to understand better. So now we can consider the initialization of two-dimensional array. So we will write int data type a of 3 3, that means 3 rows 3 columns. So we can enter the values up to 3 rows and 3 columns. Okay, so to enter the values without scanf statement, that is directly in the program, then you can follow this statements. Okay, a of 0, you have to read it as a of 0 0, indicating first row first column, a of 0 1 first row second column, a of 0 2 first row third column. So that is the end of the first row. So when you see, you just observe 3 columns are there, right? So 3 columns means up to 2 we can reach, always minus 1, right? 3 means 3 minus 1 is 2. If you consider 9, 9 minus 1 is 8, like that. So when you reach the column up to 2, that is the end of the first row. Okay, after that you have to consider the second row. So when you consider the second row, you have to change the row index here, a of 1 0, a of 1 1, a of 1 2. So when you reach up to 2, that is the end of the second row. Okay. So similarly, third row, a of 2 0, a of 2 1, a of 2 2. So you can assign any values here. Okay, just for our understanding. So I have just taken in sequence 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19. Okay, so you observe the values in the memory representation. So 11 is stored in 0 0, that is position 0 0, a of 0 0, first row first column. 12 is stored in a of 0 1, 13 is stored in a of 0 2. So that is the end of the first row. Okay, next 14 15 16 are stored in 1 0 1 1 1 2, that is the end of the second row. 17 18 19 are stored in 2 0 2 1 2 2, that is the end of the third row. So 3 rows completed. So 3 into 3, 9 elements will be there. So always in matrix also, we will say 3 by 3. So 3 by 3 matrix means 3 into 3, it is 9 elements we have to store it. So here also number of rows into number of columns. So many elements we can store. Okay. So you look at the real world representation. Okay. As Srinivas said, like when we enter the values, like this, it will be stored 11 in A of 0, 0, 12 in A of 0, 1, 13 in A of 0, 2. Okay. So first row, first column element is 11. First row, second column element is 12. First row, third column element is 13. So if we want to indicate in array representation, then we can say A of 0, 0 is 11. A of 0, 1 is 12. A of 0, 2 is 13. So that is the end of the first row. Okay. Next, when you go to the second, you change the row index. So from 0 it will change to 1, and column index will be 0, 1, 2. Okay. So A of 1, 0 will be the value 14. A of 1, 1 is 15. A of 1, 2 is 16. Similarly for third row, A of 2, 0 is 17. A of 2, 1 is 18. A of 2, 2 is 19. So if you look at this diagram, in the first part I have written as if we are writing in the program, that is int A of 3, 3. So these are the program statements we can consider directly. First declaration, then giving the values, then memory representation. So how it is stored in memory, then real world representation. So how we can display to the user. So if you consider the two-dimensional array, and if you display only in horizontal way or only in vertical way, we can display it, but it's of no use. So two-dimensional array concept is to display in row and column format. So even we can display to the user like how we stored in memory. So 11 to 19 in vertical way, or 11 to 19 in horizontal way, but we are not getting use of it. So we have to display in row and column format. Then only we can get the application of two-dimensional array. So now we can take this screenshot. Okay. So you people have done with this. We will move further. So if you are, once you take the screenshot and when you try to open the file, suppose by mistake if you are getting any error in opening file and all, don't worry. Anyways, recorded video will be there. You can pause the video in between and you can note down the things. Okay. So to display the values of two-dimensional array. So as we have discussed in case of one-dimensional array, how to display the values. So because step by step we have to go. First thing is declaration of, first thing is array definition. The next, types of arrays. Okay. So one-dimensional, two-dimensional, and multi-dimensional. So next, one-dimensional array initialization. Okay. So before we give the values as an input, like using scanf statement, let us consider the values directly in the program. Okay. Next, after that, so how to display the values once we give the values in the program itself, that is for one dimensional. Okay. Then after that, like input the values for one dimensional array, and next display the values of one dimensional, then both combining those two with one program. So to read and print the values of one dimensional array. Then coming next is two dimensional array definition. So initialization. Next, so now we will display, how to display the values once we store the values. So here one difference of what I have done is, just I have taken different number of rows and columns. Okay, just let us see how it goes. So 2 rows and 3 columns. So in the previous example, I have taken 3 rows and 3 columns. Just I have changed it, 2 rows and 3 columns, because we can take different number of rows and different number of columns. Okay. So when you take 2 rows and 3 columns, you just look at the memory representation. So 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2. 1 0 1 1 1 2. Okay, that means 6 elements. 2 into 3, 6 elements. Okay, so you can assign the values similar to the previous example. A of 0 0 equals to 11, A of 0 1 equals to 12, A of 0 2 equal to 13. So 11 12 13, that is the end of the first row. Okay, because we have taken 3 columns, right? So 3 columns means 3 elements we have to enter in the first row. Next, two rows, right? So next row we have to consider again with the three elements. So a of 1 0 equals to 14, a of 1 1 equals to 15, a of 1 2 equals to 16. So when you write the index values for two-dimensional array, little bit care you have to take, because you have to correctly keep track of row index and column index. Okay, you look at the memory representation. 11 12 13 14 15 16 are stored in memory location 0 0 0 1 0 2 1 0 1 1 1 2. Okay, now see, this real world representation I have not written here. Instead, I have printed by using printf statement, so that how it will appear on the output screen we will see. See, as I said, we can display the two-dimensional array elements which are stored in memory as it is, like vertical way or horizontal way, but we are not getting any use of it. So we have to try with rows and columns format. So first let us see how to display as it is, like numbers in different lines, that is vertical format or horizontal format. So if you want to display, write printf statements. So how many values are there? 6 values are there. So write 6 printf statements, or in one printf statement only we can write 6 times %d with backslash n, and after that arguments as a of 0 0 comma, a of 0 1 comma, a of 0 2 comma. However it is comfortable, we can do it. Okay, so here I have written 6 printf statements, %d backslash n. It's very simple: a of 0 0, a of 0 1, a of 0 2, 1 0 1 1 1 2. So it will print all the values 11 12 13 14 15 16. Or if I want to print in horizontal way, instead of backslash n you have to give backslash t. That's enough. So remaining thing is same as index values: a of 0 0, a of 0 1, a of 0 2, 1 0 1 1 1 2. So it will print 11 12 13 14 15 16. But the application of two-dimensional array is to get the values in rows and columns format. For that we have to write the code. Okay, see here, you look at the next code. What we have done is to print two-dimensional array elements in matrix form. Matrix means row and columns format. So for that we have to use for loop. Even without using for loop also we can do it, but here we have 2 rows and 3 columns, we can write printf statements very easily. But when we have like 10 rows and 15 columns, or 5 rows and 20 columns, like that, so in that case, writing printf statements, many printf statements, or within one printf writing many %d format specifiers and a of 0 0, a of 1, it will be not so easy to do it. So what we have to do, we can take the advantage of for loop, that is application of for loop. So now we can consider nested for loop. So as I said, we have discussed nested for loop, so we will come across in two-dimensional array. So here we have come across. So what you can consider here is, like, first for loop you can consider like a row. Okay, second for loop we can consider like a column, row index and column index. So for, see, you take variable I for first for loop, variable j for the second for loop, and it is not compulsory you have to take I and j. So programmers and even users also used to it. Okay, I indicates index, j also indicates index, I indicates row index, j indicates column index. Now you see how many rows are there by looking at the declaration. Okay, a of 2 3, 2 rows 3 columns. So as I said, I indicates row index, so you start from 0. Both index values also you start from 0, because array location starts from 0. That is, row index also starts from 0, column index also starts from 0. In both the cases you take the initial value as 0 only, I equal to 0 and j equal to 0. So final value how to consider is, you just write how many rows, that is row size you have taken in the declaration. So for row you have taken 2, for column you have taken 3. Same thing you use I less than 2, j less than 3. So even these statements we can write it as like I is equals to 1, I less than or equals to. When you take 1, you write I less than or equals to. When you take 0, you write less than 2.